How are you going to transition from your current vehicle to something greener? Maybe you're already there, or maybe you have no interest. Either way, change is tough. On this NSP short, Sarah Goldfeder talks about the patience needed for dealing with this type of change.
I think what's important to understand about any transition like this is a huge transition that we're going through from internal combustion engines powered by gas and diesel to tailpipe emissions free vehicles. Battery electric vehicles are definitely the centerpiece of the strategy, but I would say we're still too early in the entire transition to say that one technology is going to be the only technology. There's so much that's still happening on how we figure out, what we do with light duty versus heavy duty versus big transport trucks versus equipment on the plant floor, for example. So we've got hydrogen fuel cell lift trucks on the plant floor in Oshawa to do work there. There's all of these technologies are going to require, they're going to require adjustments as we move into a full adoption. And I think one of the things that people forget every time we go through any sort of transition like this, especially when it's politicized, the way that the electric vehicle conversations become politicized, is that there will be hiccups and there will be kind of, this dance, this 2 steps forward, 1 step back throughout the entire process. And so a company like General Motors has to be fearless and has to be able to look failure in the eye and say, okay, we're going to try this. And it may or may not work, but there's other things here that we can also try. And so I think, failure begets success. And so I think in the long term, it will be a primarily battery electric vehicle focused future. But I think we can't get too caught up in that the technology that we see right now is the technology that we're going to end up primarily using 10 years from now, because there's a lot that's happening on the innovation curve. And so I think people have to be patient with this conversation. And it's hard because we're looking at a warming planet. We're looking at Paris targets. We're looking at a political conversation globally that has soured on how we manage all of these things. And we're looking at failure. We're looking at, at companies that are readjusting. I saw it's not just, General Motors has readjusted expectations because this is hard. Ford's readjusted their expectations because this is hard. Convincing consumers to do something totally different, because you have to think differently when you make a decision to drive a battery electric vehicle. It's we take certain inconveniences for granted as drivers of internal combustion engines that we've learned to live with over time. We know that those inconveniences are there, but we don't really consider them so much anymore because we've built them into our routine. You kind of have to unbuild your routine and build a new one when you switch over to a new technology.